Hi, this is Cleat Crocker. I'm here once again at Appliance Factory Mattress Kingdom, and today we're going to talk about front load washers. And specifically the top 5 front load washers that we see right now for 2025. So let's talk about washers in general. The question I get a lot is, what's better, a top load washer or a front load washer? In other words, which way do you put the clothes into the machine? And which one works better? Well, a lot of it has to do with preference, but if you were to ask anybody in the business, they're going to tell you that overall, a front load washer works a lot better than a top load washer. It can fit more, it actually gets the clothes cleaner, they tend to last longer. There's a lot of benefits you can do with it, and because they're sealed up when they're shut down or when they're closed, that means that it does a lot, particularly with steam, that you can't do when you're with a top load washer. So let's get right into it. We're going to walk around. We've got 3 brands to discuss today and 5 different model numbers and washers that are the best so far this year. So today, most of the front load washers will spin out from 1,100 revolutions per minute to 1,400. So that's really, really fast. That means it's going to spin out a lot of water before you ever have to start drying it. So it's mostly dry when you put it in the dryer, and it makes it a lot more efficient. It comes out drier and it dries faster than it ever used to be. But the things that we tend to look for is the ones that do not have steam. They do not have a sanitize cycle. They're just a basic entry front load washer, and they usually cost less. However, when you add a water heater in the unit, that means that it will have a sanitary cycle on there. And so what a sanitary cycle means is that it will kill 99.9% of bacteria without even soap. So that's very cool. In the pandemic, a lot of people came in here to make sure they got those that had the sanitary cycle. It really helped out. And then the highest level, generally on a washer, is one that has steam. What it does is it actually penetrates the fabric with the moisture before it starts washing, and it loosens up, kind of pops the steam. It has the same amount of effect on a stain than one that has a stain remover that's been added to it chemically. So again, steam, not quite as good as stain remover, but it is very, very close. So a lot of times you'll just stop using stain removers like you did in the past. So this first one we're going to talk about, it is the basic one. So this is the #1 unit seller so far of the year. It sells for $6.99. I haven't seen it go better than that. I don't see it anything in the future. So $6.99 is probably the price right now, at least it's been established for the next few months. So it's a good time to buy. So what's good about it? Well, the size of these have actually increased. It's a 4.5 cubic feet. Well, you can wash things in here like a king size comforter with no problem. It's got all your normal cycles. A very good washer. I think you'll actually enjoy this. And so if you didn't want any extra bells and whistles, this is it, and it's a great price for a washer. They get a lot more expensive than this. One nice thing about this is you're not going to find it in the big boxes. You're only going to find it at independent dealers like Appliance Factory. It's supposed to have been $8.99, but we just dropped it to $7.99, and Appliance Factory will have that price out probably for the next month or so. It looks a lot better. It's a lot nice. I like the trim that's around it. So aesthetically, it looks pretty nice. But it's got a lot more. This has got something that the last one didn't have. It is called turbo steam. So turbo steam is it kind of ignores doing things at one at a time, and it does everything all at the same time. So that makes for a quicker wash and a better wash because it's using a lot more power inside of there to get through the clothes and remove the stains. The other thing is this has steam. Remember I told you there's non-steam and non-sanitized, there's sanitized, and then we get the steam for the highest level. Well, this one's got steam. It's also larger. That one was a pretty large that we just saw. It was 4.5 cubic feet. Well, this one's 5.0 cubic feet. So it actually will wash even more, and it will handle even bigger comforters like a California king size comforter. Now, we told you you can kind of cram these things full to wash. One of the tips though that I tell you is you don't really want to do that, because the more you cram in this, the more wrinkled it's going to come out in the dryer when you're done, even if you have a steam dryer to reduce the wrinkles. You see those bubbles in the tub there? So, and you saw those in the last one. So what that is, those actually lift the clothes up off of the tub. What you need to understand is in those holes that the water drains out, you see all those little holes, all washers have them. Well, sometimes on the back side of those holes, it's actually sharp. It's sharp metal that's in there. And so clothes can find their way in there and snag when they're coming out, and that actually causes a lot of snags on your clothes. So if you have those big bubbles in there, that lifts the clothes up away from those holes that help protect your clothes better. So this is another time when experience will tell you a lot from the guys who really know appliances. And we know that GE in appliances is very, very strong. You're gonna have a hard time finding any appliance in GE that is bad. So I highly recommend it as long as it's got the GE label on it. So what's so nice about this one? Well, first of all, it's large. It's 4.8 cubic foot. You're not going to be able to tell the difference really between this one and the last one that we saw. So it's 4.8 cubic feet, so it handles a large amount of clothes. But look at that. Look at that blue color right in there. That is something that's very unique to GE, and it's a micro band on it. So what that does is it's really there to prevent any kind of odors in the future from growing on that. It has the sanitize cycle on there. And so what that does for you, again, it means it's got a built-in water heater, and it'll kill 99.9% of bacteria when you have that cycle turned on. And it does it without even soap. So when you have the soap, it's even better. You know, this is going to sell right around $7.99-ish. I don't see any other prices different in the next few months. So price-wise, it's pretty good. It's only $100 more than an entry level that we talked about before. It's also one of the best-selling washers that are in appliances right now. Another unique thing about GE, it's one of the few brands, I can only think of another that we'll talk about in a minute, but this door is reversible. Why is that a big deal? Well, a lot of people like to use the advantage of front-load washers and dryers, and what they'll do is they'll put a little mounting kit up here, and they'll stack this dryer on top of the washer. So if your wall's on that side and you really need it to open up into this direction, well, with this GE, you can do that because you can reverse the door and they'll both open like the dryer does instead of the washer being permanently this direction. So this color is called carbon graphite. This is one thing I really, really like. This has got smart dispense on there. So nothing we've talked about so far had that. What it will do, instead of you having to fill it up every time, is it will just use what it needs. It's a great working system, and it means that you're not having to fill that jug up every time. It's got steam, it's got sanitize. So it does all the best types of washing that you can get. It has the same microbec brand band technology that the last one had. It's also got not only sanitized, but it also kills allergies. So you can see this plus allergen on here. So that's actually pretty good. Not everything that has a sanitized cycle has allergens on there. So allergens are really nice for kids that got allergy. So, and this is also a 5.0 cubic foot, the largest size we've seen so far, tying the LG that we saw just a little bit ago. So this one, it sells for $8.99. It looks like it's going to be around the $8.99 price for at least the next couple of months. Okay, so you remember the last one we talked about the bumps that help lift the clothes away from the holes? This one has these fins on there. It accomplishes the same thing. One of the great things about Electrolux that I like is their onboard computer system in here. So what does that do for you? It's nothing that you're going to see a lot about, but it's got one of the best vibration controls of any washer I've ever seen. So, well, this one, I've seen us actually stand this up on 3 legs before, turn that on, and it would not shake. I've seen us put this on bricks end to end, stack them up, which was very unstable, and it would not knock itself over in a full spin. The vibration control in Electrolux is second to none, so I really, really like that. This is the other brand that I told you about that traditionally has reversible doors. This brand also has one of the fastest fast wash. I know it's 15 minutes. It's also got steam, so it does the best kind of washing. Pretty large, it's 4.5 cubic foot. This, like all the other models I've talked to you about, are the top 5 in 2025 in terms of unit sellers in the company. And so these are selling like hotcakes. So this is usually a brand that you see in maybe a nicer household or someone who really understands the history of this brand. So it's got everything. Now, all of these have matching dryers that you can get. So really the best thing to do in a washer is just find a dryer that will match up to it. Because a lot of times, well, actually all the times, as long as it's a matching piece, the features will match up very nicely as well. Also, all of these have upgrades to them. So if you want even more features and more enhancements, the selection at Appliance Factory is so large that they can really fit any need And so all these brands are top-notch brands. I think you'll be very pleased. But here's our top 5 for 2025. Pricing on this one, $9.99. No plans that I can see of this going down or up over the next couple of months. So this is the best selling price right now.